Now, if you're an able person, you might be led to believe that this is just your average street in Salford. However, if you're disabled, there are a lot of hazards here that would make it difficult for you to access where you want to go. Now, according to the Royal National Institute for Blind People, 78% of partially sighted or blind people rely on walking as their mode of exercise for the day. But unfortunately, there are different factors in the streets of Salford that can make this very difficult. For example, this car parked on the pavement and bins left out in the road makes it really difficult if you're in a wheelchair to get through the narrow gap on the pavement. And if you are partially sighted, it's very difficult to see these obstacles, which can then cause an injury. Ben Andrews has a degenerative visual impairment called retinitis pigmentosa and is hoping to actively improve accessibility through his new children's book series, Better Places.
It's a series of picture books to help children think about how places can be made better for disabled people. I just wanted to make it as fun and easy to understand as possible. Around a subject that I think some people think can't be made fun.
The books, published by Tiny Tree, will focus on different settings where characters with disabilities face accessibility challenges.
I've worked in sort of the adult space for about 12 years now, helping teams and organisations work towards a more inclusive, accessible offer for disabled people. I get it's a difficult task. It's just around. That's why I think we need standards creating where these discussions have happened amongst disabled people, and it's like, we've got disabled people, we've got engineers, we've got planning teams. Let's come together, have a discussion around, what's a happy medium.
This can include painting bollards brighter colours for the visually impaired and introducing audio signals on buses and trams.
The next stop will be Broadway.
Former ceremonial mayor of Salford, Charlie McIntyre, has used his experiences as a wheelchair user with multiple sclerosis to campaign for inclusion in parks.
I have been a councillor for 18 years and I was never able to sit at the top of the dais because it wasn't accessible. Now, if I'm looking at some of the parks in Salford, not all the parks in Salford have tables, but when they do, I'm stuck at the end, like a black sheep.
Do you think it's important for children to learn about how to make streets and environments more accessible for disabled people?
There needs to be disabilities included. There needs to be visual recognition that these people are our people, us.
Better Places will be hitting the shelves late next year, but what about availability in schools?
That's where we can reach the most kids in a single space sort of thing. But I also want them to be a bit of just a fun book to have around the house for parents.
Until then, I'll be doing my bit by being more street savvy and moving this bin off the pavement. Jennifer Morby, Salford Now.